Most sci-fi has been consistently obsessed with conquest. Space is usually reduced to a really big frontier to colonize. Ursula K. Le Guin took a completely different path. She used her stories as an opportunity to analyze human systems. She didn't care much about technology or aliens. She cared about how people organize themselves, share work, distribute power, and relate to one another when state power is tweaked or removed entirely. Through books like The Dispossessed and short stories like The Ones Who Walk Away from Omelas, Le Guin wrote some of the most entrancing explorations of anarchism and socialism in all of science fiction. In 1974, she published The Dispossessed, an ambiguous utopia, one of my favorite sci-fis and stories in general. The book contrasts two planets. Uros is a rich world divided between a hyper-capitalist state and an authoritarian socialist regime. Uros has a moon called Anarchist, which is home to a self-governing anarchist society apparently inspired by the ideas of Kropotkin and Paul Goodman. On Anarchist, there are no laws, no police, no money, and no personal property. People work based on their communal need and personal interest. Their language has been altered. Children struggle to understand concepts like personal ownership. They say things like the house that I live in rather than my house. But Le Guin wasn't writing a utopian fantasy. Life on Anarchist is harsh and dusty. Resources are scarce and the work is hard. She shows how social pressures and unintended bureaucracies can lead to rebuilding hierarchies, even in a society that was designed to banish them. To Le Guin, anarchism isn't a static, perfect system that can be installed and then call it good. It's a continuous practice. Even in anarchism, freedom requires constant effort, self-criticism, and vigilance against subtle forms of power. In her short story, The Ones Who Walk Away from Omelas from 1973, Le Guin examines the fundamental moral flaw of capitalism and utilitarian ethics. Omelas is a nearly perfect utopian city. There are no kings, no slaves, no standing armies, and no misery. But Omelas' happiness relies on a single sacrifice. One child must live in perpetual darkness and neglect in a basement beneath the city. But everybody knows the child is there. Most rationalize it. They tell themselves that the child's suffering is a necessary evil for the happiness of thousands. Every now and then, a few people refuse the bargain. After they decide to see the child for themselves, they walk out the gates into the darkness and leave the city behind. We're never told where those people go. But the story isn't about their destination. It's about their refusal to participate in a system where their own comfort depends on the suffering of someone else. It's a direct rejection of capitalist systems that treat human beings as acceptable sacrifices for overall well-being. Le Guin's writing is vivid, and her exploration of theory is entirely non-academic. She viewed the use of fictional stories, and imagination in general, as an essential political tool. Without the ability to imagine an alternative, people tend to just accept current conditions as inevitable. In 2014, she received the Medal for Distinguished Contribution to American Letters. She gave a speech that pretty much says it all. In it, she said, "We live in capitalism. Its power seems inescapable. So did the divine right of kings. Any human power can be resisted and changed by human beings. Resistance and change often begin in art." She wasn't selling a platform. She called herself an unsystematic thinker. Her political views were strongly influenced by anarchist theory, but also by Taoism, which she said emphasized balance and fluidity over strict central planning. Through her writing, Ursula K. Le Guin didn't try to make a blueprint for a perfect future. She showed us a lens. She showed that capitalism, private property, and state authority are really just choices we keep repeating, and that we as human beings have the power to imagine and build something different.